It is a scorching afternoon here in Jerusalem. I can only imagine how it is in Tel Aviv. Just gonna wait for some friends to show up. I know it's not that early on the East Coast in New York, but I think it's like 8 o'clock, something like that. So I was gonna do this video at night because of the heat. But then I was like, you know what? For the purposes of what I want to talk to you guys about, or what I want to illustrate, I think it would be better to record this in the daytime. So, I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to remember, or maybe even if you were old enough, maybe clued in enough, let's say, or paying attention. In 1988, this guy by the name of John Carpenter made a very, very, shall we say, instructive film. The film is something that kind of became a little bit of a cult classic. It starred, if you guys know anything about professional wrestling, which is largely fake, at least the plots are in the matches, but the guys are doing real stunts. It starred Rowdy Piper, who actually passed away. I think he passed away, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. You know, a lot of these guys, they pass away from heart issues and stuff like that. I think he was like 60 years old. But so besides being, a wrestler, he was also I would say, prolific actor. He starred in a lot of these kind of B movies. I guess you could say that this movie would be in the category of a B movie, but it actually gained notoriety and actually had like some decent acting. The name of the movie is called They Live. So before I get to tell you guys about who is they, I'll just tell you guys the plot, or what went on in the movie. So basically, there's this guy, played by Roddy Piper, and he's down on his luck. And just to give you guys a long story short, he finds these sunglasses. They kind of look similar to the ones I'm wearing now. Actually, they look almost the same, without the tint effect. And so he's wearing these glasses, and then he's walking down the street. He's in the city. I think it's Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles. And he notices that he looks at like the newsstands back when we had a thing called newsstands, right? He's looking at all the magazines and all the newspapers, and all the magazines, the newspapers, they're all, they all lose their color. They're all lacking in color. They're all gray and white. And they all say like, stuff like obey, listen to propaganda, be a consumer, be an obedient citizen, all these kind of things. Basically stuff that's like, the stuff of propaganda, brainwashing propaganda. And then he takes them off, and he sees, the front page, the front covers of the magazines, the regular front covers, whether it's Vogue, Men's Health, whatever it is, right? And then he puts them back on, and again, he sees the Obey stuff. Takes them off, sees the Vogue, sees this. At some point, the guy, he starts thinking he's going crazy, right? And then he looks up at the billboards. He's still got his sunglasses on. Sees a billboard. It says, follow the government. Listen to everything the government says. Don't question the government. Something like that. Obey, this and that. You guys can go see the clip on YouTube. Okay. He's like, I must be having one of these weird days. He's like, you know what? Maybe I'm just seeing things. Maybe I'm just, not feeling well, whatever it is. He kind of like, whatever. He writes it off. Then he's walking, and then he walks into a makolet. He walks into a supermarket. And then, half of the people that he sees, and he's still wearing his sunglasses, half of the people that he sees have the faces of aliens. And then he takes off his glasses. Normal faces. Regular people, quote unquote. Puts them back on. the woman at the front desk is a human, another woman's a human, the next one's an alien. Human, alien, human, alien, human, alien. And they're all wearing, human clothing, right? At some point, he bowls over, he falls over, and he makes a comment, and one of the alien ones says, she starts talking into her Apple phone, Apple Watch, right? This is before Apple Watches, right? He starts talking into her Apple Watch, and she goes, "We have one that can see. We have one that can see." Right? And then he just runs away. He runs into an alleyway. And then a couple of cops follow him. He puts on the glasses. The cops are aliens dressed in cop uniforms. They're like, "Okay, come on, come with us. This doesn't need to get violent, this and that." He fights them. He knocks them out. I think one of them he kills. He runs away. Then, there's a guy that, I'm just fast forwarding, guys. He encounters a guy that he used to work with or work for. And the guy basically ended up firing him. Why? Because this Roddy Piper guy is just he can't function properly. He's just seeing these aliens everywhere. He's got the sunglasses and everything, and then, at some point the guy's just "Listen, I gotta let you go." So then he meets the guy, his former boss. He meets him in the alleyway, and he's like, "Listen, I want you to put these glasses on." And the guy's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I want you to put these glasses on." So he comes up to the guy. He tries to get him to put these glasses on. He's like, and the guy's resisting. He's like, "Stay away from me." And then at some point, the guy starts fighting him, physically fighting him. There's a 6-minute scene, guys. If you go look it up, They Live, Fight. Fist fight or fight. There's a 6-minute scene where it's just a fight. And it's basically Roddy Piper trying to get the guy to put on the glasses so that he can see what the guy sees, what Roddy Piper sees. And it's interesting, it took the guy 6 minutes to get him to put on the glasses. It was a horrible fight, fist fight, and wrestling match and whatever it is. At some point, it's interesting, the glasses fall. I noticed this, I don't know if anybody picked up on this. The glasses fall on the ground, and the guy's on the ground, what's his name, Piper, and the guy who, African-American guy who's trying to get the glasses, to wear the glasses, he could have stepped on the glasses, and he didn't. He could have stepped on them, he could have crushed them, and he didn't. And then the guy picks up his glasses, and then he knocks the guy out. He takes the glasses, he throws them to the side, but he doesn't break them. He could have. Exactly. I came here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble. There's a scene in the movie where he comes into a bank. That's another thing. He comes into a bank and he's got a sawed-off shotgun, and he comes in and he's like, "I came here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum." And then he basically starts shooting the aliens, but he's and you can see he's discriminately picking out the aliens and avoiding shooting the humans. Keith David, yeah, great actor, by the way. So he's the guy that he was fighting. So, guys, you're probably wondering why I'm telling you all of this. I've basically spent the last week, on and off, after I told myself I wouldn't do this, speaking to people primarily on social media and trying to show them everything that's been going on with the ones who live, the ones with the different faces. In this particular case, they're not aliens, right? They are Erev. Guys, if you watch your news report, if you watch your, look at some of the politicians, look at some of the business people, they're not aliens. They're not, some people call them, reptilian. They're not aliens, they're not reptilian. They are the Erev. And guys, by the way, you should know, in this movie, at the end of the movie, after that guy who was fighting him joins up with him, They join up together. They infiltrate. There was some event in a news station, and they're basically, they're broadcasting all the stuff, whatever it is. And there's some event that's going on, and it's an event with a bunch of business people, humans, not aliens, who have basically sold out to the aliens, because the aliens have some sort of energy force, and then basically that where these humans can basically generate cash, right? More and more cash, right? And then you have like the leader of these, what's called sellouts, really, who have basically teamed up with the aliens. My friends, we have people who, most of the people you talk to, this is something I realized, most of the people you talk to, if you try to get them to put these on, no matter what you do, you can show them this statistic, you can show them this fact, you can show them that fact, you can show them this, you can show them that, that you can show them this doctor, this PhD who refutes whatever is being said in the mainstream propaganda, and these people will literally fight you. They will fight you. They won't, not yet, at least not yet anyway, not fist fight, but they will fight you, and they will repeat, slogans that they have learned in the mainstream media and from politicians. They will simply repeat them, and they will fight you to not put on the glasses. They cannot see what you see, which is the fact that these people who are pushing this stuff are part of a bigger system. And then there are people who know the truth, right? There are people who know the truth, who have sold out to them, all for the mighty dollar. My friends, I tell people all the time, follow the money. I was just talking to my friend here about some of these doctors that came out and have been saying, they've been talking about, antibody dependent enhancement, how if you take this substance, it actually makes your immune system weaker, how it's actually not people who have not taken the substance are the culprit. It's the people who are taking the substance or, infecting each other. That's a big problem. How, getting it a third time and a fourth time may actually hurt you, or it may not work. How there might be long-term issues, not short-term, but long-term issues. Everything is being suppressed. And my friends, you have to ask the question, who's doing the suppression? The people that are doing the suppression are the people that have political, but also, even more so, primarily financial interests in this. The people who are speaking out, the people who are blowing the whistle, the people who are going against the grain, they have, if you look at who they are, and you look at their, so to speak, motives, they have no financial interest in this. In fact, all these people are risking their careers and their reputation on, their claims, on saying what they're saying. But my friends, you know what I realized? I realized that, you talk to regular people, good people, they're not bad people. Well, some of them actually have shown themselves, have also taken off their masks, speaking of, glasses and masks, and have shown themselves to be the kind of, in Russian we say gnidy, just not savory people, let's put it that way, for really who they are. These are the people that would send you to, they're the sellouts. They would send you to their neighbor to a camp if they could, right? But other people are just good people, and they're just being led astray. And you try to talk to them, and you try to, get them to put these on so they could see what you see, which is obvious to anybody with any kind of critical thinking, seichel, reading comprehension, a person with the ability to connect the dots, abstract thinking. My friends, I was speaking to a relative of mine, or actually, let's call him a relative. And he says, he's like, you'd be surprised how many people today, and he works in the high-tech field, he's like, how many people today, even some of these intelligent people in the high-tech sector, they don't have basic reading comprehension. When they're reading something, they don't know how to discern or read between the lines of what they're reading. They don't know how to read, let's say a lot of journalists, they write in innuendo, they write in code. code words. They write, they omit certain things, or they include certain things. People have lost the ability to discern nuance, subtlety, reading comprehension, abstract thinking. They don't have it. They don't have it. A lot of people just don't have it. Doesn't mean they're stupid. A lot of people are accomplished people. But you try to get them to wear these, some of them are just incapable, and other people will actually physically fight you. But what I found, my friends, there's a glimmer of hope here. What I found personally at least, is a lot of these people, at the end of the day, they don't go and they don't step on the glasses. They don't destroy the glasses. What they're really doing is they're going through the motions of what, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross called the 5 stages of grief, right? In this case, I'll augment grief. I'll say it's the 5 stages of, coming to a certain realization. First they have, denial. Then they have anger, right? They deny what you're saying. Then they get angry at what you're saying. They start bullying you. They start being very nasty, mean and nasty. Then they start bargaining. You bring them another statistic that blows up their whole narrative, right? Or the narrative that they've been fed, let's put it that way, to give them some credit, right? And they say, well, it's not because of that, it's because of this. Well, oh yeah, but of course, if we did that, then of course, then it wouldn't be the case. If everybody just took this thing, then we wouldn't have this mutation. And if everybody this, and then you tell them, well, the mutation is not because of that, it's because of evolutionary pressure that we're taking the thing too fast for one thing, and then we're putting evolutionary pressure on it, and it's just science. Or you can come and say something out of a rabbit hole, and you can say, well, it's not a mutation. These things were developed independently because we have something called gain of function, and the people that gave us this thing are using it as a weapon, right? Have weaponized it, and they just created 2 or 3 or 4, one after the other, right? So you can go that way, or you can go this way, Like Tribe Called Quest, you could deal with this, and you could deal with that. It doesn't matter. You come to them and you say that, well, no, because it's this, and then they start bargaining. My friends, right now, a lot of people, especially the ones who took stuff, some of them have buyer's remorse, regret. I have friends like this who took it for a document, who took it for work, who took it because of a roommate, a crazy hypochondriac roommate, boyfriend, girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. They're an ex for a reason, okay? They're in bargaining stage. And then, my friends, after bargaining comes depression. They're just going to get very upset. They're going to curl up into a ball. They're going to be very confused, my friends. And then after depression, they're going to have acceptance. Now, my friends, we're in the stage, at least for most people, some people are in anger. There's different people in different stages. Some people are in anger, and other people are in bargaining. Right now, we are in the bargaining stage. Again, news reports are coming out. Maybe this is like this. Maybe this is not what we thought it was. Maybe this is not the way the narrative we painted, and it's like this. That's really the MS, even though people like myself and other people like me, already knew that truth to be self-evident months ago, right? And we were yelled at, we were screamed at, we were denied. That was the first stage, right? That was the first stage. And then we were, anger, people got mean and nasty and bullied us, right? And now they're bargaining with us. My friends, a report just came out today that they have confirmed that a woman, she was a BBC reporter who took the remedy that is made in Oxford University, the initials AZ. She took that one, right? They confirmed that she died. She was a perfectly healthy woman. She had a very low risk of contracting this, right? And if she would have, she probably would have been able to treat it with other things. Really, there are treatments, right? But she took it, and she died. She died. They confirmed unequivocally that she has died as a result of this thing. And you should see, and this is a big story today, right? The confirmation of this. We knew 2 months ago, people were saying it automatically. And of course they're saying, no, there's no correlation. Correlation doesn't equal causation, or causation doesn't, whatever it is. Their shtick. All right? Today they confirmed it. My friends, it's one thing if some Joe Schmo passes away from this thing and, a few people here and there that they reported. But that's another thing when a high profile person now Okay, my friends, we had Eric Clapton who gave his testimony that he took the same one. Also, Oxford, he said, I took it because it was from Oxford, and I respect Oxford very much. And my daughter and who his relatives convinced him, and then he couldn't play guitar. My friends, this is the greatest guitarist of all time. You can argue with me about that. On that, I'm happy to disagree with you. We can say, you know, there's three people that are on par with each other. Hendrix, what's his name? Eric Clapton, and there's maybe one other guy. Oh, what's his name? Stevie Ray Vaughan. Okay, there's three people. Two of them are dead. One of them is still alive, Baruch Hashem. He couldn't play guitar for a few months. He couldn't, and now he said, I'm giving concerts, and I'm going to give concerts. I'm not going to require these documents. I'm not going to require anything. You want to come to my concert? I don't care who you are. I don't care what you took. I just want you to enjoy my music. But he couldn't play. He had horrible pain in his hands. He had all kinds of things from this Oxford thing. Okay? My friends, the truth is coming out more and more. You know, this is something, you know what people don't really understand, and I noticed the comments of these people, it was on Twitter, to this report about this woman. They said, well, okay, so that's an unfortunate thing, but what about all the deaths from the disease? And what about all the people who didn't have these reactions from this supposed, you know, treatment, this thing, this substance? My friends, but I lost my train of thought. What was the point that I was trying to make? I mean, but ultimately the truth is going to come out. Ultimately the truth is going to come out. You see, these people basically have no heart, really, you know. You could tell them about this person and that. She's a perfectly healthy person, right? Perfectly healthy person, didn't need to take this, and she took it. And they fought to say, you know, it wasn't the case, and this and that and the other. And now we're going to see, my friends, now we're going to see more and more and more and more come out, and people are going to go from bargaining into depression. Oh, so what I was going to say came back to me. You know, my friends, I was born in the Ukraine. Because a lot of these people in the comment section, they were talking about side effects, right? You know, I took this, I didn't get any side effects apart from this, and arm pain and this and that. You know, they're talking about short-term side effects. My friends, I was born in the Ukraine. All right? I don't know if you guys remember, there was this thing called Chernobyl. They even made a whole series about it on HBO. Chernobyl is such a thing that happened where, you know, you had all this radiation that came out of this one area, and it traveled in the air. It went primarily over the city of Kiev, the biggest city in Ukraine. It went primarily over certain towns in western Ukraine, close to where I was a kid, to where I grew up, until I was 7. And then it went to Sweden. You know, it went to above the Baltic states into Sweden. I think by the time it got there, it got weaker. You know, my friends, I have relatives on my mother's side of the family who are from Kiev. You know, my grandmother, her mother is from Kiev, who got cancer, developed cancer. Perfectly healthy people developed cancer 10 or 20 years after Chernobyl. You understand what I'm saying? They developed these things 10 or 20 years after Chernobyl. There's statistics. You can go look it up. There are clusters of people who lived in Kiev and in the Kiev, what's called Oblast region, area, who developed cancer 10 years, 20 years after. People also who lived close to Chernobyl, or this place called Pripyat, who developed cancer. They didn't develop cancer right away. They didn't go a third eye right away. They didn't grow a third limb or whatever it was. They didn't have any of the, you know, these people joke about, you know, oh, I got the vaccine. You see, I have a third eye. These people are idiots. Idiots, my friends. I don't know what other word to use. We're talking about a ticking time bomb, a dormant ticking time bomb inside your body. Same thing when you have, my father got, you know, they reused needles when he went to the dentist, and that's how he got hepatitis C. But he didn't get hepatitis C right away. It was dormant. Hepatitis C is something that stays dormant in your system for a while until it, like, rears its ugly head. It could happen 10 years later, 5 years later, 20 years later, whatever it is. My friends, these are time-released, dormant, ticking time bomb things. Okay? I was speaking to a few friends of mine. A friend of mine, her mom is a surgical nurse. She told me straight up, these kind of things, if you're talking about mRNA, the tech, because they've been using it on cancer. So guys, my phone's getting very hot, so I gotta put it in the shade. So they were using it on cancer. She said, you know, and I don't mean to scare anybody here, guys, but she said, it's gonna take about 6 or 7 months to see mass results of, or to see mass cases of serious side effects. You're not gonna see it right away. So if we say that people took these things in March and in April, masses of people, right? So right around September, October, November, we should start seeing it. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years, my friends, it could be 3 years. These are ticking time bombs inside your body. This is technology. This is not a natural thing. They did not get this substance from nature. They got it, they developed it. It's a tech. It's a tech inside your body. Not only that, it actually gets your immune system to stop fighting, meaning it takes over the fight, and your immune system is like, oh, okay, there's no more fight, I don't need to fight. And it starts doing the fighting. My friends, this is what people don't understand. Autoimmune dependent, what's the first word? It's ADE, dependent enhancement. Okay? I have to go look it up. And people are saying, no, it's not a thing. My friends, if it's not a thing, there's a company in China, as we speak, I can send you guys the link from the bio, it's like a server for abstracts, scientific abstracts. They are developing a drug for this dependent enhancement issue that causes side effects from this substance. My friends, I'm telling you, we're in the stage of bargaining now, and we're about to be in the stage of depression. People are going to wake up to this narrative. Right now, they're like this, and they're fighting you, okay? They're rolling around on the ground, they're wrestling you, they're screaming at you, whatever it is. Again, this is all on the spectrum. Some of them are in denial, some of them are in anger, some of them are in bargaining. And pretty soon, my friends, they're going to put on the glasses, and they're going to see everything, and they're going to be able to see right through the people who have done this. And they're going to be able to discern who are the people that are responsible for this and culpable for this. And my friends, I'm telling you, this is going to be considered, eventually, a crime against humanity. This is what it's going to be. It's going to be the people who made this, for sure. Right now you see the U.S. is hiding. They were trying to do a report on what was the cause of this, and they, I guess, retracted or redacted information that they wanted to write about the Chinese. Right? Because the Chinese are saying, if you guys say that we did this, if you guys outright blame us for doing this, you guys are going to have some consequences. Politically, maybe militarily. This whole thing right now, it's all connected, guys. Taiwan, just like this whole thing with Afghanistan, it's not just a distraction, but it's also connected to the fact that these guys are done selling you OxyContin and fentanyl. By the way, the woman they just appointed as FDA, the head of the FDA, she was the one responsible for clearing OxyContin and fentanyl, getting people addicted to that. And now they're done dealing. Now that Pablo Escobar is done selling you that, now he's going to start selling you the new thing. Okay? Now he's going to push and push and push. My friends, when they came out with this FDA approval, supposed approval, I said, thank you very much. Pablo Escobar just approved his own cocaine. Thank you. Or Tony Montana. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't F me, Tony. Don't F me, Tony. You guys ever seen that movie? Okay? So, my friends, a lot of people don't want to wear the glasses, and they're willing to fight you so that they don't have to wear the glasses. But ultimately, deep down, they know that if they put the glasses on, they're going to see what they're going to see. because they could have had, during the fight, they could break the glasses, but they don't break them. They don't crack them. They don't step on them, right? And my friends, very, very soon, very, very soon, you know, I daven that a lot of people who took this stuff, who were excited about it, who this, who that, or people who took it against their will, let's say for their roommates or their hypochondriac, whomever, I daven because, and it actually, these companies had to do this for themselves. I daven that half these people got placebo, or that most of these people got placebo. I daven every day that most of the people here in Israel got placebo. I really do. People in my family as well. You can say that's crazy, this, that, okay? So, my friends, we're about to enter into the realm of, to go from bargaining. Right now we're in heavy bargaining. I could see it already. We're about to go into depression. And after we get out of the depression, hopefully we will have acceptance. And then after you have acceptance, then you can figure out that the course of action against the people, the very, very evil people responsible for all of this. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.